Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Baxter Student Ambassador Program webinar. Presenting for us today is Jessie Wong, one of our BSAP finalists from Ryerson University. Hi, Jessie, how are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
Excellent. So just before we get started, I'm going to quickly introduce a few of the people that will be viewing today's webinar. We have Tom Griffin, Assistant Professor of the Ted Rogers School of Hospitality and Tourism Management program at Ryerson University, and Carol Greenwood from the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario. A representative from Transat will be viewing the webinar later today. And here at Baxter Media, we have Wendy McClung, Emily McClung, Ashley Rochford, and I'm Dan McDonald. So for everyone viewing today's webinar on the computer, if you have any questions during the presentation, just type them into the Q&A box found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after the presentation has finished. All right, Jessie, if you'd like to go ahead and share your screen, you can start whenever you're ready.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right, I will start. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jessie, and I am a third-year student at Ryerson University's Hospitality and Tourism Management program. Thank you, Baxter Media, for this opportunity, and thanks for everybody tuning in today. I am excited to present to you two products in one trip idea. There is a leading tourism company you have all heard of, a top provider for many international trips. Then there is the city that is the seller itself just by its name. It's called the City of Love, the capital of fashion, or the City of Lights. And that would be Paris. So today I will be talking about Air Transat trips to Paris and how travel agents can sell this trip to their clients. My goal with this presentation is to make agents excited to sell Paris as I am just to talk about it. So our agenda will begin with some background information about Air Transat, then information about Paris. Then we'll talk about the tourism market for airline users and the different types of offers for our Paris travelers. Next, I will explain the reasons why a travel agent should have the efforts in selling the trip by listing a few benefits, and then we'll have Q&A. So we'll get started with a little bit about the company, Transat AT Inc. So Transat AT Inc. is a leading integrated international tourism company. In other words, it means that it can market its tourism services and products through third-party suppliers, as well as its own distribution network. So travelers, that means that they are able to make booking for air transportation, accommodations, car rentals, cruises, travel packaging, and etc. This company mainly operates in America, Europe, Mexico, and the Caribbean. They offer many vacation packages, hotel stays, and air travel to 60 destinations in 26 countries. The headquarters is based in Montreal, and they employ about 5,000 people from the different fields. So lastly, in this slide, the company has amazing values. They are committed to sustainable tourism development by having a corporate social responsibility policy. So that means they are cooperating with companies, with communities like Haiti to build orphanage schools, contribute relief funds, and support the Children Wish Foundation. To add, they also have an environmental policy where they are committed to reducing carbon footprint, and they even make sure that the partnering hoteliers and the tour operators follow this code of sustainable practices. Just a little bit more about the company, because travel agents need to know what they are doing. So Transat actually has 5 business segments. Transat's main operations would be the outgoing tour operations and the air transportation. So I'll explain outgoing tour operators. They are the core business, and this is where they assemble the internal and external travel products. Like I said, like the hotel stays, airline seats, excursion and car rentals, and those are to be distributed and marketed to the consumers. The second one is the air transportation. Now, Air Transat is just one business unit of Transat AT Inc. So of all of the airlines, This is Canada's #1 holiday travel in the Canadian and transatlantic market, and it's voted the best tour operator for the past few years. Every year, it carries nearly 4.5 million passengers domestically and internationally. Then the other business segments are to manage destination services, retail, distribution, and hotels. So destination service providers offer a broad range of products for consumers of outgoing travel, like passenger travels, excursions, leisure sports activities, and for wedding destinations. Retail distribution consists of providing advice to the travelers and selling the consumer products, of course. Of course, this can also be done through the travel agency networks, websites, call centers, and the best way is to combine all three of them. Lastly is hotels. Like I said, they want to use their vertical integration as best as they can, so they have better control over all of its operations. So you're also probably asking who travels with Air Transat? And the answer is because it's an international tourism company, they service everyone of all ages. Now, a few good facts is that Transat Travel found out that 80% of Canadian package travelers like to travel with their partners. So that shows a market for couples. Then they also say that 81% of travelers, including the families or individuals, they like to explore new cultures. And there's a good market for individual travelers. Then there's a lot of family who like to travel with Air Transat, specifically because of this program. So Air Transat has a program called Children's Club. This is for kid travelers of the ages 2 to 11 years old. They can register in this program and receive fun benefits like kid travel items or pre-selected seat arrangements and accelerated registration for their families. There's also priority boarding and luggage delivery for that entire family, and this actually goes with elders as well. So it's also important to note that 87% of Air Transat travelers note that they lean towards choosing a social responsible vacation airline. So this means that customers are aware that Air Transat have efforts about making more sustainable choices. Now we get to move on to talk about Paris. Beautiful, beautiful city. But first we need to know where it is. So it is the country of France. It's located Western Europe, bordering Spain, Andorra, Belgium, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and Italy. The bodies of water surrounding it would be the Atlantic Ocean, Mediterranean Sea, and the English Channel. It is the 21st largest country by population, and that would be with 65 million people. Now for the capital city, Paris, there's a population of 2.22 million people. This city is in northern France, where the river Seine runs right through it. The great fun fact is that the city is divided into 20 arrondissements, which allows people to easily locate their destination. The official language is French, but there is less than 2% of those who speak a German dialect of Alsatian. They use euros as currency, and it's important for travelers to note that European countries do not often accept American money. And now I want to talk about the tourism in France and Paris. I have a few statistics that were very eye-catching to me. So in 2016, travel and tourism in France directly contributed 80.7 billion euros to GDP, which represents 9.7% of that country. It is forecasted that this will rise by 2% in the next 9 years. So previously in 2016 and 2017, there has been a few unfortunate events. The French government announced that their plan is to spend 10 million euros on a tourism advertisement campaign to battle these negative effects of terrorism and attacks. And that way, their goal is to attract 100 million tourists by 2020. Now, of course, as you know, it is one of the top tourism destinations. There are 45.9 million tourists, and 42 of them are foreigners, and that shows another potential market for tourism. Now for Paris, it is ranked number 1 in the world of welcoming visitors. In 2017, Paris received 23 million visitors, 40 of whom came from China, and 21 came from the Middle East. And I thought those are just very interesting statistics that the Americas were not in that. Now statistics show that there's also a great market for business travelers because 53% of the hotel stays overnight are related to business travel. And then a survey had said that 46% of travelers who want to go to Paris is the reason because they want to see more cultural sites. Now, there was a survey done by the Paris official and Tourism and Congress asking the first-time travelers what their reason is for visiting Paris. And this is a chart that shows the most popular interests in Paris. As you can see, all of it is over 90%. So with this additional research, I outlined 5 types of tourism marketing that the travel agents may find when they are selling to their clients. So we have what is called the honeymooners, the fashion icons, art and history enthusiasts, culture explorers, and the foodies. Now we're going to start with the honeymooners. Now these people, you might think, oh, they're all married, but no, they're not necessarily newly married, or they could have been married or they could be dating. Now these are the couples who decide that they need to take a vacation from their busy lives and travel together. Often these people are over the age of 25. They will probably have a stable job and no kids yet. It is likely that this vacation is financed together, and all of the activities in this vacation are around spending time together. Now, honeymooners like their trip to be personalized to them. They like it to be restful, romantic, and there's no other city that screams romance like Paris, of course. So I have suggestions. The first one is to take the boat tours. Now, this is a fantastic way to see the city very slowly and really bask yourself that you are in this beautiful, beautiful town. Now, floating down the river Seine, there's no stress and it's very relaxing. Now, another suggestion is that instead of visiting a restaurant that it could get loud, I would say go to a less popular restaurant, maybe opting in for a smaller local one. Now, another way to spending time with a significant other is to stroll or picnic in the beautiful city gardens. Now, usually this happens in spring and summer, but what the locals like to do is to be sitting on the grass with a blanket and watching people while talking. Paris has over 400 green gardens. The most popularly known is the Jardin de Luxembourg, a French palace with dramatic statues, or Jardin des Tuileries, which is an Italian-style garden with perfectly symmetrical shrubbery everywhere. One of my other favorites is that couples usually find themselves at the Point Le Desert, where for many years, people have been writing messages on locks, they lock it to a fence, and then they throw the key in the river Seine. Now in 2015, Paris had to remove all of these fences due to safety and structural damages, but it doesn't stop new love locks appearing. So I'm not saying to be illegal and put some locks on it again, but it would be a fantastic way to spend time with the loved ones. Lastly, of course, is to watch the Eiffel Tower sparkle every night. So now I want to market to the fashion icons. These travelers have the high disposable income to splurge, and they will even do it with friends. Whether it is their first time visiting or not, they will no doubt research where to go because they do not waste any time in this city. They are either business or leisure travelers, and they definitely do not mind walking hours in the high-end luxury shops or the smaller streets where they will have much bargaining power. So the must visit for high-end shopping is the Boulevard Saint-Germain and the Champs-Élysées. It is known for designer shopping and spotting famous celebrities in the fashion industry. The streets are lined up with the trees and beautiful Parisian buildings, just a fantastic spot to get home decor, fashion boutiques, and a little bit of gourmet food. Then there's Galerie Lafayette, an upscale French department store, and travelers, if they get to go there during any of the holidays, they are sure to be seeing the most stunning decorations, for example, like the Christmas market here. Now, the event to note that has all of the buzz is the Paris Fashion Week. Usually from January to February, tickets can be bought online, and then in that way, they get to visit the most beautiful venues, and if they're lucky, they can score an invite to one of the after parties. So now we're going to talk about the arts and history enthusiasts. These are the people who love to take strolls, and that means that they do not have any time constraint and no rush at all. Often these visitors are a little older and they do not have kids. Now, fun fact, Paris has exactly 1,016 art galleries, 3 opera houses, 206 museums, 716 movie theaters, and 2,185 listed monumentals. So there is no reason why someone would say there is nothing to do in Paris. So these enthusiasts will definitely not miss the chance to swing by 4 UNESCO sites: Palace of Versailles, the River Seine, Fontainebleau Chateau, and the medieval city of Provins. There is also no way of missing the Mona Lisa at the Louvre or Van Gogh at the Orsay Museum. Lastly, no way of missing the Notre Dame de Paris, a Gothic cathedral which took over 100 years to complete, and the La Sorbonne, which is the oldest and most esteemed university in Europe, and of course, the Arc de Triomphe. Then we're going to talk about marketing to the culture explorers. Now, this type of traveler is the easygoing and free-flowing ones. They could range from being millennials or Gen X, or they're just family trips. They're really comfortable, surprisingly, not to have any itinerary on them, even though they are internationally traveling, and they love participating in new cultures. Now, this sector of marketing does have overlapping characteristics of being an art and history enthusiast, the one that I had talked about before this. But additionally, these visitors love to visit events and festivals. So what they can do is hop on a 3-hour bike ride, explore Paris in a fun and quick way at one go. If the visitors can take it, then suggest them to go 65 feet below the Parisian streets and to take the tour of the Paris catacombs. They will learn that there are over 60 million skeletons arranged in 20 miles of the underground tunnels. Now for festivals, the party ones, there's Nuit Blanche. And this attracts over 2 million visitors to local art installations, and this event only runs for 24 hours. Others might want to experience a 4-in-1-day event, maybe the Techno Parade or the LGBTQ Pride Parade. There are also shows that should not be missed. Moulin Rouge is one of the best well-known cabarets in Paris, and there is one called La Nouvelle Yves Cabernet, and it is one of the oldest and most elegant theaters in Paris. Lastly, we have what is called the Foodies or the gastronomy searchers. This is more of a niche market, but nonetheless, it is growing very quickly. Fun fact, there are 631 Michelin star restaurants in the world, and Paris has over 70 Michelin star restaurants in it, which is why they call it the capital of fine food as well. Paris itself is 40% of France's Michelin star restaurants. A friendly tip for the travelers to visit these restaurants is that it is quite expensive, but if they do pick a lunchtime or one of the 16 cafes that have the stars, it would be easier on the wallet. So now let's talk about Air Transat's flight to Paris. So I had gotten these from the website, and I found out that it is very user-friendly. customers are able to glance only once for any travel details, and it compares all of the prices for you of depending on which month you would like to go to. For this example, it seems September, the summer is very popular, and so it is a little bit more expensive. Now, on top of this chart, it outlines the restrictions and perks of being a loyal member with the EcoFair chart. On the website, it also lists all of the best deals and the top things to do in Paris. So now with the travel agents knowing who the travelers are, then we can talk about why they should sell Paris. So I have a couple of reasons to go through. The first one is that it is a very steady industry. There is and always will be a growing demand to travel to Paris. Like I said, it is growing. The GDP of the Paris region accounted for 31% of the GDP of metropolitan France, and it will steadily grow. Also, as mentioned, the city name is a product that sells itself. It is a destination where travelers will visit all year round. So this is an opportunity for the travel agents to make more money all year round compared to the other seasonally focused destinations. Next benefit regards to the group travels. Because growing demand for tourism in Paris, there is also an increase in group travelers. So for example, the cultural explorers, who I've explained include families with kids. These groups do not have time or they do not want the hassle with planning a trip. They will want to rely on the travel agent to plan and personalize their ideal trips and then easily just purchase it without any hassle. This means that travel agents, as they're selling it, they are making more dollars in one trip in a single sale. Next, we'll talk about the status. Travel agents will be a supplier to the top tour operators in the world. This status is a personal opportunity to partner with other tour operators, airlines, and travel organizations. Another reason, similarly, travel agents planning the international trip to Paris will also foster relationships with businesses in Paris. Again, another personal opportunity for more connection and growth. Next, I'd like to talk about the perks. Transact treats their suppliers very well. Travel agents at Transact give 13% commission to stay competitive, and other companies will give around 10% commission. Additionally, fam tours are given as an incentive to sell more. This also means that you're able to get training opportunities with Transact to further enhance skills in selling trips. Now, I'd like to talk about the ease of selling. Location-wise, there are so many activities to do in Paris. Travel agents will not have a hard time at all selling the options to various types of travelers. Now, company-wise, Transact is very flexible, giving clients a range of flight budgets depending on the travel season and any other constraints. To add to this, the trips can be sold as a package or as a standalone due to Transact's involvement of being integrated. The sixth reason is that Transact is fantastic with answering any customer questions 24/7. They're reachable by email, call centers, anything that the consumer or the client needs. They have access to the information and the support that they need. Lastly, Transact has the Air Miles reward program. So the Transact Distribution Canada, the TDC, they let travelers know about this. And it's good to note to them because their trip is collecting points and getting rewards. And especially if they have never flown with Air Transact, they get to create this now. So with Transact being a very well-known integrated international tourism company, I've shown that there's big demand and opportunities traveling. So why is the City of Lights your client's next destination? Well, because Paris has something for every traveler. There's many reasons why a traveler should go, and there's many reasons to why a travel agency should sell it. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Jessie. I think Emily McClung here at Baxter Media has a question.
Okay.
Hi, Jessie. Thank you so much for your great presentation.
Thank you.
You had mentioned you're in your third year at Ryerson, and we are wondering what career path you'd like to go on, or sort of your dream job would be.
I have two. I do love all of this surrounds the service industry. I absolutely love studying excellent service. So the first thing that I'd like to do is hotel management.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be fun to always be working for a huge company. So I'm saying like the bigger brands. The other one is to be a event planner. Now, what I like about that is that you always are on your feet and you're always running. There's something always going wrong, and it's the creativity of how to fix that gets me very excited.
That's great. So I guess you're also saying you do well under pressure.
Yeah, I'd say that.
That's great. Great. Okay, well, thanks so much.
Thanks for the question, Emily.
And then if any other questions are submitted, I can read them out to you.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, I do believe that's it for the questions, but I'd like to thank everyone that tuned into the webinar today. Thanks so much, everyone, for taking time out of your day. And Jessie, thank you so much for your great presentation.
Thank you so much, Daniel. All right.
So on behalf of Baxter Media, yeah, definitely. On behalf of Baxter Media, I'd like to thank you for participating in BSAP 2018, and we shall be in touch.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Great. Take care.
Take care.